real this time. Sorry about that. Hope those that didn't like go out in notification spam or anything like that. Sorry, I was adjusting my bit rate. I'm definitely going to have to upgrade my internet at some point because I can only do like 3,000 as a max bit rate, and it pretty much uploads at like 2,500-ish. So that's something to worry about later. So hey everyone, how's it going? It's a nice night here. So good night for some productivity. How does that sound, right? But let's see here. Just a second. Got to send out the tweet. Tonight and more. There we go. All right. We are live. Let's see here. Just gonna make sure. Still kind of getting used to this like dual laptop setup I've got going on here. So get rid of that. Get rid of that. And get ready for some infinite recursion. Boom. Whoa. Alright, get rid of that. Go up here. And we should be good to go. Alright, well, hello everyone. Tonight, it's going to be kind of a chill night, hopefully. I don't know. Kind of depends on how incensed I get at any errors, stupid or not, that I get into. But tonight we're going to be developing a game I'm making. It's called Pearl. Just going to take a sip of water real quick. There we go. So, Pearl is a classic style roguelike. It's not like a twin stick shooter or a four directional shooter or anything. It's just much more in the style of classic roguelikes, except it's graphical. So, because I wanted to do something graphical, I don't know, kind of gives a little extra of stuff to do. So, um, instead of just explaining it all dryly over text while you look at the lovely GUI for Game Maker here, we will go ahead and I'll go ahead and launch the game and explain some stuff while I'm at it. So, as you can see, yep, this is made in Game Maker. I am going to school from computer science, but I'm a total hack. So, oh jeez, it's weird to do this in my own video game. I'm gonna turn the music volume way down. There we go. I find Game Maker. I think it's a pretty alright tool. I think it gets a lot more shit than it needs. It's kind of the whole, like, when you make something really accessible, of course a bunch of, like, bullshit stuff is going to come out. But there are a lot of great games that have been made in Game Maker. Nuclear Throne, the beta for Hotline Miami, Spelunky, original version of Spelunky, Hyperlight Drifter, I think, was made in Game Maker, so just to name off a few kind of luminaries. So you can do really good things with this system. That being said, it's not perfect. I will delve into that more as I start programming, because I will be programming tonight. So if it doesn't sound like your kind of cup of tea, sorry about that. But hey, you'll get to see the finishing of this version of the alpha, and I'm going to start on the next version of the alpha too, which I'm kind of deciding up to this moment what I'm going to do with that, but I have an idea. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So also, I just started this project in Game Maker a while ago, and then picked it up again, and I've been kind of going off and on with it. So that's why it's still in Game Maker. I was thinking about porting it, but I was like, I could technically release this pretty much right now and be near finished, like content-wise or feature-wise. It's just that content-wise, the end game is still very anemic. This update, you can see up here. I don't have my cursor, but Alpha 4, the whole tower. Before this, you pretty much had two areas: the foyer and the mine. So I've added in all the other areas. The last area is technically added in, but I don't have any content, very much of any content made for it, and it is inaccessible right now because reasons. So without further ado, let's just get started. I'll go into the gameplay and dev mechanics of this later, but first let's just start with and go ahead with a new character. So there's 1, 2, 3, 7 character classes right now. So there's the adventurer, who's just kind of all around okay, like kind of a solid first choice. They find 25% more money, always nice. Berserker, these guys get 30% more damage when unarmed, and they build rage faster when armed. They have a unique rage mechanic, which is exactly what it sounds like. The more you take and or give damage, um, you become more enraged, and when you become fully enraged, you do double damage for a while. So, rogues, they're basically extra dodgy, and they start with a shield for some reason. I might change that over the course of this. We'll see. They're just really good at dodging, pretty much is what they're kind of built for. Useless is exactly what it says on the tin. But they have hidden potential. I don't know if I want to spoil what that means right now. But they have like the worst stats. They start with they have the worst starting weapon. Period. It's worse than the Berserker starting weapon, which is just their fists, i.e., no weapon. The Arcanist, they're made for spell casting, which is kind of gimped right now because I only have like 8 or 9 spells in the game right now. So that's one of 2 things I'm either going to focus on in the next update. Otherwise, they're fine. Slayers, you can tell that I really like my Demon Slayers because this one has the longest text blurb describing it. They can get essence from fighting demonic enemies who are demon. Blech, how do I say this? Enemies whose race is demonic enemies. Like, there's a race system in this game. I'll talk about it. So they get extra damage against those guys, and then from those guys they can also collect essence, which is basically a second type of resource that they can use to cast spells. And then I have the soldier, who pretty much just is supposed to be a gunner, but guns are kind of underwhelming as well right now. So I'm just going to start as an adventurer. We'll do a random name, and what do you know, it's Sarah. I'll read this whole thing off just the once. This will show up every time. By the way, I will, if anyone's interested in the chat, and I'll mention this a couple times, feel free to ask. I will shoot you a link to the Game Maker forums where you can find up-to-date download codes for this bad boy. So anyway, welcome to Pearl. This is an alpha build, so things are maybe broken, unbalanced, flea-ridden, and otherwise odd. Anything and everything is subject to change, so hang in there. Your goal is to assault the tower. More lore will be coming later, since fluff and flavor text can only carry a game so far when there's no gameplay. A lesson I've learned the hard way a couple times. Head north to start crawling through some dungeons, or the one as it were. You've got a message log at the top right, read and you'll have pertinent information, because one of my early testers mentioned they didn't know that the message log was up there. Also, the top bar used to be a lot more cluttered, with a lot more useless, not necessarily pertinent turn-by-turn information. Also, hit escape for a list of useful commands and access to the compendium, so main menu. Brackets indicate a shortcut, keyboard shortcut. So anytime it says like brackets I inventory like that, hit that button, that's what that'll do. Inn, armor shop, blacksmith, canteen, alchemist, and random shop in town. Punching bags, someone thought that those were like people, they saw a punching bag and didn't use the look command on them, and they thought they were people who were like dressed up as like a scarecrow to get beat on by whatever empire or faction controls this area, which, surprise, it's a bunch of factions that hasn't been fleshed out yet. So that's just a way to test your damage basically on a neutral enemy that won't die. Tab is keyboard, escape main menu, character sheet has lots of useful information. We can have we have a town teleport teleport spell that can take us back to the entrance of the tower after 30 turns. Also, there are warp points at floors 6, 11, 16, and 21, which is the beginning of every major area. Except you can't get to floor 21 right now, so neener. Have fun, work hard, death is as cold and permanent as it is in real life. And, oh no, there's my name, Nick. Oh. So this is the changelog for this. Like I said, this version of the game is pretty much complete. I forgot. I thought I'd fully completed it. There might be like 1 or 2 things I want to change real quick. But, so the rest of this is not going to make any sense because you guys haven't seen the earlier versions, but basically before, there were 2 areas, the foyer and the mines. The mines were not very fleshed out. There wasn't even a boss for them. So I fleshed that stuff out. So now there's also the catacombs, actually it's the graveyard, but whatever, and the barracks, and then the end, which is not going to be its actual name, but I don't want to spoil anything. Added enemy and loot pools for each of the new areas, and item notifications, which totally weren't inspired by Bloodstained. I didn't just add those like 3 days ago, no sir. Elite enemies are in the game, so certain enemies will be buffed with various, different kinds of buffs. So some will have double health, or some will have extra health, some will have double damage. Some will take revenge on you when you hit them, that kind of stuff. Fix a screen scaling issue and made the pixels all nice. Before, the pixels were getting really stretched out and gross because I started development on a 1920 by 1080 screen, went to a 16 by 9, and now I'm back on a 1600 by 900. Now I'm back on a 1920 by 1080. But yeah, it looked gross, especially with the font. So, Pixelated Pope, you followed his tutorial and it worked out great. So thank you very much, buddy. I added key bindings for toggling full screen cycling resolution. So if you want to play the game at not full screen, eventually I might make it so that you can like select a resolution, but that's kind of out of scope for now. Hopefully I didn't break the stream. Okay, cool. Numpad keys can be used to navigate menus. What a shame that I currently don't have a numpad on the laptop I'm developing on, but oh well. Space can wait. That is a constraint of the fact that I don't have a numpad. Eventually I'll be picking up another like external keyboard. Turns out my other one died because I didn't have it plugged in for like a year and a half, 2 years. Problem with pathfinding, don't even worry about that. Main menu automatically defaults to load. Saving and loading is in this game, so if you quit a run and come back, you can continue it. Game now saves time correctly, so it's a turn-based system. It's nominally influenced by that time marker up there, so each turn is a minute. Spawn logic, don't worry about that. Scaling system, so that enemies in the universal enemy pool aren't really hard early on and really easy later or anything like that. Compendium, that's just, you know, lore basically, and tutorial system kind of. Berserkers, rage mechanics, don't worry about that, and broken combat calculations. For some reason, using a weapon which would stack the weapon's damage on top of your associated scaling stat would do less damage than just taking the weapon off and attacking, which was, I don't even fully understand. I think the problem was that somewhere in my attack calculations I wasn't making a if statement correctly, so it was adding a bunch of attack damage that it shouldn't have been adding. But this is a town, the town of Sargoza. It's a nice little town. It's invisible walls, fun little ocean, I guess. You can see times going up there every time I move, so that really just plays into shops having new inventory right now. Eventually that'll have a bit more of a, maybe like some enemies will get stronger at night or something like that. I'm not entirely sure yet, or certain items. So, and then here's the tower to the north. Pretty imposing place, right? So over here we have the inn and the canteen. So the canteen's run by this presumably hairy man. The inn's run by a dog, because of course it is. But so the canteen sells food, which is used to restore energy, which are both our hunger bar and our mana bar. And it can also heal us. The random shop, which there's certain, if you know, as kind of mentioned in the changelog, there are certain pools of items that can be used, or that will be like accessed. So like there's a meal pool and a food pool that the canteen draws from. The random shop just pulls from anywhere, so we get a like semi-late game cloak on offer, for instance. We're not going to buy that because we don't have the money for it. Worth knowing, I could totally cheat for it, but I'm not going to do that yet. What's the point of cheating in my own video game? B, the dev console is definitely more for troubleshooting than anything else. This is the weaponsmith, so they'll sell weapons. Weapons operate on a tier system. The colors denote it, so gray is the worst, and then it goes white, green, blue, purple, red, yellow, I think. I don't have very many late game weapons in the game. I have all of the ultimate weapons in, but not the tier before that. I think I have like 1 or 2 weapons from that in. So same thing with the armor. So shields have a block chance, and then shields tend to also have like special effects. Like for instance, there's the sanguine shield, which will on block, it has a low block chance, but on block it will restore some of your health. Everything in the game works off of a 4 stat system, or a 4 kind of, I guess, yeah, stat system, which is on the statistics side, it's Dex, Perception, Strength, and Wisdom. So Dexterity, Perception, Strength, and Wisdom, I mean. So those are the 4 core stats for the character, and then going off of that, oh, there we go, unequip. Every weapon. So the every weapon in the game works off of cut, pierce, blunt, and magic, which scale with the which scale with the color correspondent things. So, for instance, I have 8 dexterity. This iron blade has 8 cut damage. If I had less than 8 cut damage, I would be fumbling with this weapon, or I would have a chance to fumble with this weapon and do like, you know, 2% damage, something like that. Weapon scaling works with the highest damage type on an item. So if you have something that has multiple damage types on it, the highest one is what scales. So if this had like 4 blunt, I wouldn't need any strength, which is what blunt scales with, or I wouldn't necessarily, because it's only going to scale with the cut damage, or dexterity. Armor works on a similar thing, except it's cut resist, pierce resist, blunt resist, and magic resist, on top of absolute defense, which is just literally take X amount of points of damage off. That will probably be reworked in the future, or I will have them do resists only, something like that, because like with absolute damage, if you get lucky and get a nice piece of armor early on, nothing will be able to touch you. Spells are in the game. The only spell most characters are going to start with is Town Teleport, which will take you, as I said, back to town in 30 minutes, 30 in-game minutes, so 30 turns. Spells usually cost energy unless otherwise stated, so like I said, you don't want to waste your energy, and every adventure at the very least, or every character at the very least, will start with a Mend Potion, which restores 33% of your health, a Med Kit, which restores 100 health over 100 turns plus 5 energy, and a Ration, which restores 20 energy and 30 health. So, and I'll go over why that's over blank X amount of turns. Oh, and we have the Alchemist up here too. He sells stat enhancement potions, so we can't afford any right now. We only have 150 Zun, which is the, currency in this game, but it looks like gold. Don't worry about it. But yeah, enough lollygagging around. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? I can hear the sounds of capitalism on the floor, so that's a merchant up there. Game has a field of view in the dungeon. Here's a skeleton. We're gonna hit him, and he's dead. So much like a lot of roguelikes. But there's a field of view system. It is based off of your perception, so it starts at a certain amount, and then it'll go up if you get more points in perception as you level up. Points are assigned automatically depending on the class you are. So generally speaking, you'll be good in most stats. It's just that certain stats will get prioritized. There's torches in the levels, which will automatically illuminate some areas. We've happened to spawn right next to the staircase, which is really nice. You can only go up in this game. You can't go down unless you use Town Teleport. So we'll go ahead and journey in and see what this guy's got for us. So I think this is fuchsia, I think. So fuchsia items are tomes, brown items are food. I don't have the money for these necessarily. I don't think I even have anything to sell yet. I should have showed off the options, but there is a auto pickup option. Oh god, the commander's jacket already? Holy shit. Lucky me. There's a lot of balancing that needs to be done in this game. I'll admit right now, that has not necessarily been my prerogative yet. That's going to be a little down the line once I have a lot of things in, so I can kind of have things to balance against, if that makes sense. So, because right now, like I said, I pretty much have the bare minimum per tier, except for like white tier and gray tier, which are pretty much done. So, it's hard to kind of balance all of them against each other. So, the game's completely fucking unbalanced right now. I'd say like 10% balanced, 90% not. I'm going to stop walking around because that wastes my energy. But yeah, so there'll be random stuff laying around the level. We'll go ahead and put that commander's jacket on because it's just, you can see here, top box is what you're looking at, bottom box is what you're currently wearing. So 4 defense means that basically nothing's going to be able to touch me till the boss of this area. Movement is determined by a speed system, so every time the player moves, a minute will pass. It depends on how many how many turns it takes for an enemy to move. So basically, they'll move every 1, 2, or 3 turns, generally speaking. So you can kind of, if you're not dumb, you can kind of cheese that a little bit. But it's not always going to work when you have like a huge group of enemies against you. Oh, I'm starving. That's good. There we go. That was a waste of a med kit, but whatever. So you can see the item notifications in the bottom left. So a little easier way of telling what you're picking up without having to read through the message log, which the message log is nice, but it can become kind of like annoying to have to read through and feel like, okay, what did I actually just pick up? So worth noting, there's an options menu on the main menu. You can disable a lot of this extra fluff stuff, like you cannot disable damage numbers because I'm not going to allow you to be soulless like that. But you can disable item notifications, you can disable sound effects, you can disable auto grabbing loot, you can disable health bars, that kind of stuff. So we're running out of energy pretty quick here because I keep digging around, but this is kind of the gameplay. So try to pick up enough money, pick up enough food to not starve to death. Try to kill stuff. Another merchant. These guys, I might have to change their spawning percentage, but these guys will show up. They have a percentage chance to show up on any given floor. It's not like they're going to show up every floor, so because that'd be broken. Alright, our pack is full. Backpack size scales with strength. So every 10 strength points of strength gives us an extra backpack slot. So as soon as we level up, we'll have an extra one. It's okay, we can eat some beets too. We did get a grand potion drop from that lesser demon, which is pretty surprising. That's a full heal plus 20 energy. So you'll notice in the top left, whenever I eat or basically eat anything, that I have those effects. So that is just buffs and debuffs, which are maybe going to expand into the with tonight. We'll see. So you can see here we're healing 1 HP a minute, and we're digesting, which means we're gaining 1 energy a minute. So you cannot just, like, if you get into a pickle, you can't just sit there and gorge yourself on food to get a bunch of health back all of a sudden. A scoper, okay, I think something actually got fucked up with the loot pools, because that we should not be getting the scoper this early. But, oh well. I'll keep an eye out, I guess, because it seems like we've been incredibly lucky right now. Enemies also have a range, so that's why this magic enemy here can shoot me to his heart's content. So we'll go ahead and put him out of his misery. Let's see. Oh, maybe it's every 15 points to strength. I just changed it recently, so. Also, all weapons are either one-handed or two-handed. You can kind of see on the right side of the info box there. One-handed weapons, you can use a shield while holding. Two-handed weapons, you cannot. So, unfortunately, I cannot equip this shield and have a chance to, There we go. That's a dex drink, so I just got a point in dexterity. Let's see here. Dexterity, so, kind of go back to the 4 stat system. Dexterity increases your chance to dodge. Perception increases your vision radius. Strength increases the amount of stuff you can carry. Wisdom increases the amount of XP you get. That's the other scaling they do throughout the game. Let's see. This halberd is 7 cut and 5 pierce, so that's 12 raw damage. Plus the fact that my dexterity is pretty good, so we'll use that. Plus the fact that it's a white weapon over my gray weapon. Go ahead and eat a meat shroom. There's plenty of flavor text. I'm not really going to go over it, because A, I've read it a billion times at this point. B, you know, your call if you want to read it in game. There we go, that guy's dead. Oh, geez, he dropped a tome. Okay, yeah, I'm starting to worry that the drop pools are kind of fucked up right now, because them dropping tomes is very odd. But tomes are used to learn spells, so now we have the fireball spell. So that costs 8 energy. It does an okay amount of damage. It also scales with wisdom. So we'll go ahead and eat something, and then get another piece of rye. Why not? And we'll continue onward. Let's see. Regent Shield and the Shiv. Regent Shield is pretty surprising. I'm going to check something quick. Pools used. It was the armor pool. Maybe I'll get mitigated as I continue to add items, because right now it's just that there's not as many items as I'd like there to be. This guy right here is green. He's an elite. So this guy is a regen elite, so every time he acts, he will regain some health. I think it's like 10 to 15% of their max health back. And they also start with more health to begin with, as every elite does. So this is a universal enemy, the Ripper. There we go. Alright, there we are. This is pretty much the game. I guess we'll just go until I die. Let's do a fun little challenge. Let's eat this rye, eat this meat shroom, and let's just go till I starve to death. That sounds like a fun time, right? What's this? Leather whip. Oh, that could actually be pretty good. 7 cut, but if I do the Regent Shield with that, aha! Now I have a decent chance to block things. I have a 10%, 18% chance to block any damage. It's pretty nice. Like I said, things are going to have to be rebalanced as time goes on here. So it's sometimes kind of a question you have to ask. I think it's a plate shirt. Yep. That's not really necessary with my commander's jacket here. Oh god. See, it's really funny. See, what's this guy? He's Revenge. Okay, so Revenge guys do damage back to you whenever you hit them. Executioner's Axe. Is that a white level item? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. We'll go ahead and use this medkit. Oh, damn it. That's a thief. Thieves and then any greedy elites will attack you and then teleport away with your gold. They're still in the level, though, so They just kind of make it so you can't just sit there like mashing through and just like holding down direction keys a bunch to move around. You kind of have to keep an eye out for them because otherwise that happens and they steal your Zun. Where are you, little bastard? Nope, I'm starving again. Any food near here? Oh, totally. The ultimate food. I don't know if the ration's the ultimate food anymore. It was the first food I put in this game. The first 3 food items were the ration, the piece of rye, and, damn it, the, meat shroom. Alright, who's next? Where are you, little bastard? I suppose I could just wait for him to come at me, because I believe right now the way it's put in, enemies can and will find you from across the map. Oh, found him. There we go. What we got here? Let's see, a recruit shield and a leather vest. That's really not necessary. Boss every 5 floors. We're currently level 5. We'll go ahead and town teleport just for shiggles. Go sell our shit and turn around and try to just barrel through the rest of the floors again. Alright, so we can sell these guys. Don't really want the scoper per se. We'll go ahead and rest. So resting in an inn completely restores your health and also gives you a 240 turn buff, the rested buff. So you get time and a half XP and very slight HP regen for 240 turns. So, one thing I'm eventually going to fix, probably not this next alpha, but maybe it'll be part of it, is the economy. Because right now, basically everything you pick up is, if this makes sense, if you pick up like a really good item and sell it, you'll get that item's entire value, as opposed to how a lot of games do it, where if you buy something, the buying value is worth more than the selling value. Like, so if you buy something, it'll be like $100, let's say, and if you try to sell it back, it'll be like $70. Or something might have a base price of 100, a merchant might sell it for 120, and you can sell it back for 70. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna do something like that. I don't think there's really gonna be a bartering skill. I think it's just gonna be a flat, like, 70% of, you know, you sell it and it's worth 70% of what it actually would be worth or something like that. So it's still a good way to, like, if you find a random item that you don't need, it's a good way to make money, but at least then it's not like as much. So we'll see. For now though, good idea to pick up some food. Right now all food does is heal you and then restore your energy. I'm thinking tonight we might start an update that adds that fleshes out the buff system in this game, which means that a lot of food items actually start giving you buffs. So, like, you know, the beef stew is hearty, so it might give you, like, extra health or something like that. We'll see. I kind of want to do that. On the other hand, I'm like, do I want to? Because then it feels kind of like, what if you have food items that don't have buffs on them? It's like, well, crap. So maybe tonight instead I'll start the fleshing out the spell system. We'll see, one of the two. Let's see. You have some okay stuff. Regent Blade's pretty fucking good. Really fucking good. I'll take that. Let's see. Equip that. You can have my leather whip now. Alright. Ooh, Voracious Axe was one of the first gimmicky weapons I put in. Basically, it has huge damage potential, but it takes part of your energy to swing it. So, you'll also notice my energy is not going down in town. That is intentional, just so the player couldn't starve themselves out on the doorsteps of the doorstep of the tower. I wish I knew what words were, but obviously I don't. So let's see. Yeah, whatever. 2 commander's jackets, 2 recruit shields. Okay. And because I'm a cheating son of a bitch. Oh god, I wish I could type. There we go. We'll just skip right to the 5th floor. The development console was like kind of a like I just didn't want to do like other real content, but it's so worth it in hindsight once I got it to work, and it's so easy to add stuff to it. But it just makes like playtesting so much easier, especially in a game like this where you can't just manually place. By the way, I'm letting them beat the shit out of me. All right, you know what? Fine. Let's show off the fireball. Oh, I don't have enough energy for the fireball. Whoops. What was I gonna say? It just makes like, because in this game, like, just because of the infrastructure of the game, like, this is all one room. I can't manually place, like, an enemy to test on necessarily, and there's, like, a whole system where, like, this room is kind of special because of the initialization it does that basically makes the grid that enemies use to path on, that kind of stuff, and it's very resource intensive, so I try to have it be in as few rooms as possible. So I can't just manually place stuff here or anywhere else, and, so it's really nice, and it does a lot of things that would be a pain in the dick to set up otherwise. It's what I used to do is I just set a debug key, and then it would just turn into this like one long if press, keyboard check, press debug key, and it would just turn into this long thing with a bunch of comment out of code depending on what you need to do at the time, and that was annoying. So this is a lot more set up ahead of time, but it's been so smooth ever since. So anyway, we'll show off what the fireball does. So it gives us a spell selector. We'll go ahead and shoot it right in the middle of these assholes. There we go. And it doesn't do that much damage because those guys are magical, so they don't take much damage to begin with. And because I'm a dick, I'm just going to use Genocide. Boom. They're all dead. Oh, and he dropped his rabbit tooth. I don't think I've seen that drop in game yet. Most bosses have a unique drop to them, so... flavor text. Pretty good weapon, honestly. 23 raw damage compared to the 20 we have with the Regent Blade. So... it's still one-handed, so... but yeah, I guess I'll just show off quick the dev console, do all the funky things I can do with it. So these are all commands I can use. These are all commands I can do. And I even got to a third page, which only has a couple different things. So, pretty sure there's no enemies left. Oh, I wish I could spell. I'm pretty sure there's no enemies left on this, though. No enemies on the floor, yep. So, we can do other things, like... the obvious, we can gain levels, so 44 would mean that we're at max level. 50 is the max, so this is what a totally, completely leveled out character would look like, generally speaking, at least for the adventurer. We could give ourselves a bunch of money, and that does actually record in our stat screen now. What else? What other funky things could we do? Like I did earlier, I can check what the pools were what item pools were used for items on the map, if they were, dropped a certain way, or if they were just dropped by the character, it'll note that as well. And then I can, give myself stats. I can do verbose attacks that kind of go through the combat calculations to a degree. I can also do this. I can just die. So, wow, that's a hell of a score. Oh yeah, because I gave myself, what is that, 1 million? Yeah, because I gave myself 1 million money, so, as you do. So we'll go ahead and go back to the main menu. That's enough showing off for now. Oh, I guess I can show off the options real quick, my bad. So you can see music volume, or sound effects volume, auto grabbing loot, full screen, animation sizes, so you can, if you don't like the animations for attacks, you can turn them off or make them smaller. I think I kind of like mine at medium. Health bars, item notifications, and elite nameplates. So yeah, and these all, like I said, these all save over time. So there's a separate configuration save file, and then it also creates a save file for any character you're running. You can only run one character at a time, but I might change that eventually. But I don't know. I don't know if this is a game that you really need to run multiple characters in, if that makes sense. So, this being a roguelike, I mean, your average run is probably going to be over in like half hour to an hour max is what I'm shooting for. So I'm not shooting for this to be like a super long roguelike right now. So anyway, let's jump right out of that. So I'm just going to check and see if there's anything I need to add to turn this into a shippable alpha. I believe I've stomped a bunch of the bugs I was having problems with that you guys weren't privy to. So I think that's pretty much it. I guess I could add a couple more weapons. Let's see. Yeah, I guess you can see, to give you some context, these are all the items, and every single item in the game right now is in here. So I'll go through later, and I'll have to prettify a lot of this stuff and make it a lot more legible. So, or not even legible, but just kind of like add breaks maybe between tiers or something like that. So that's a board Nick that wants to organize kind of thing, not a like actual content kind of thing. But yeah, you can see here. So we have all of these are like melee weapons or staves or that staves, whatever, that kind of stuff. This is guns, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2 of which are legendary weapons or divine weapons, which means they're the highest tier. So yeah, it's weapons need a little bit of the guns in general need a lot of work. That's gonna be an overhaul I do at some point. There will probably be like a combat overhaul update where I simplify it a little bit more and make it make more sense, and also just clean up the code for it because right now it's a bit there's a couple of redundant calls and that kind of stuff. Um, Also more shields. Like I have plenty of regular weapons, but shields, armor, and guns. That's gonna be a day where I'm just like I need to have like a creative spurt and just sit down and just make both like armor that just there to exist and then like actually like or and like items that exist and then make items that actually have like cool effects and stuff. So I think that's all I'm gonna worry about right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Going to let's see, I think it's create application, single runtime executable, and we'll throw this to the desktop for now. And I'll post this later tonight on that forum. Like I said, I'll actually probably link that on my channel page here, and link that forum post so it's easier to find this. So that go through. Oh dear, there we go. It did. Look at that beautiful icon. Oh yeah, this is a picture I took last night while developing. Oh geez. There. Oh okay. Um. So you can see these are supposed to be guard drakes. I forgot to size them up. So I was in the game. I was like, what are these tiny ass little things? I'm like, oh god, those are supposed to be the guard drakes. Whoops. So, oh, I guess spoilers for the fourth area, the barracks. We're probably gonna see them depending on what we do, but oh, I forgot I need to rename this. Pearl A4. There we go. Make sure that runs. Um, Thank you to my lovely girlfriend. It does, okay. Thank you to my lovely girlfriend for giving me the, I found the this background originally somewhere else. Thank you to my lovely girlfriend for eventually adding in some cool stuff, like we got Scoot the Duck from Animal Crossing up here, Kingdom Hearts logo, Isaac, Ebony Ivory, Fenrir, Doll and Sarah. So thank you very much for that. Oh, shoot. Well, thank you also for the infinite recursion. Okay, here we go. So, what we're probably going to do now, I need to decide if it's going to be more focused on buffs and food items, or if I'm going to be doing more spells. I mean, spells is nice, because I do kind of need a few more spells. I think, here's the design doc, actually. Where do I put spells at? There we are. I have Weaken and Ascend. Those would be pretty easy to do. Yeah, let's do spells. I don't. Spells will kind of lead the way into more buffs later. So yeah, we'll do the spells and potions. What are we gonna call it? I don't know. I like to come up with names for these things for both for shiggles and because it makes it easier to differentiate than just saying, oh, that got changed in Alpha 5. Oh, what was Alpha 5? I don't fucking know. So let's see. Dev, controller, alpha version 5, alpha name. And do I want to do another one? Because the one I had was Might and Magic, which is not only a reference, but I want more alliteration, or because I could do like spells and sobriety. Because I'm gonna be, I don't fucking know. Bruise and choose your magic. No, the magic update. Fuck it. There we go. I'm not gonna sit here all night trying to figure out a way to make a pun or joke off of upgrading potions and magic, which also I do need your strongest potions. Okay, so we'll start off with potions because that's kind of a nice little warm up. So right now for potions, if we go to the items page here, they're pretty standard. So you have a strength up, a perception up, a wisdom up, and a dexterity up. You have one that basically increases your energy pool. Don't ask it. It's a metabolism enhancer. Distill the essence, which is unique to the Slayer because it's basically just their resource, except 2 bottles of it to use at as their wish. We have the 3 potions: Mend, Heal, and Grand, and we have Ambrosia Syrup, which we haven't experienced yet because it's not even in any of the drop pools, and that's like a super overpowered late game drink. Because yeah, full heal and energy heal, instant level up, and a period of invincibility. So, I want to add more potions that have other effects. Like, for instance, one I was thinking of was a Gold Dust Potion, which means that enemies you touch would give you, or any attack you did would give you gold as well. Um, we could do a Potion of Resistance, so one that like increases your resists or doubles your resist for a short time. Let's see, I should write this down. I'll get rid of this highlighting here. Okay. If you'd think after all this time I would be like good at Word, and you'd be wrong. Okay. Except I wanted that to be green. Oh, for God's sake. No, blue is the not feasible or work in progress. There we go. Okay, we're good. Nope, stop that. No color. There we go. There we go. Alright, potions. So we have Midas, or, well, Gold Dust. Money on hit. We have Resistance. 2 times resists. What else can we add? We can add a, I guess we already have kind of the potion to level up. I guess XP just gives you certain levels of XP. What else could we do? Gold Dust Resistance XP. Enchanted. So all attacks deal magic damage. And how am I like hitting a? Because here's the thing: like you go to something like NetHack, and there's potions for like fucking everything. Right now, the fact that potions can only be applied to you doesn't help, and I'm not sure if I want like other potions. I guess we could just do like water, slight, heal, and energy restore. Trash, loot. Because you gotta have good items, you gotta have bad items too. Um, uh, Star Essence, because I like referencing Mario sometimes. Brief period of, oh, brief period of invincibility. Okay, so let's try to add all of these guys in by the end of the night. I think I can do that pretty easily. So, all right, cool. So first up is Gold Dust, which is money on hit. So first of all, let's all add all those. So for those of you that are programmers, the way my item system works, I wanted to do procedural items. GameMaker doesn't like storing those very well necessarily, just because of the way its object like instantiating works. Maybe there's a way to make it work. I tried a couple different ways and I couldn't like. I could make it randomly generate a weapon, but the second like the player picked it up, it became, I don't know. It's weird. So So what I did instead is it's a lookup table. So every single item in the game I've made. It's, I've put in all the stats, names, everything, descriptions. That's all been my handiwork. So the only thing I didn't make are the sprites, which were provided by the excellent Dawn-like tile pack. Let's see, let's just launch the game and see what the name of that dude, because it's like a username. Dragon de Platino on OpenGameArt.com. Excellent tile set that was actually really originally made for NetHack. So anyway, so we have an enum for items. So here's literally every item in the game again, and then here's all of the different stats that an item can have, and then their type, and then if it's a weapon, what weapon type it is. So let's see. So at least I want to make sure this is class enum, spell enum, energy potion. Okay, cool. We'll just add it to the end. Why the hell not? So we have gold. Well, let's see. Let's dual screen this sumbitch, shall we? Oh, I didn't want it. No. Don't know why GameMaker didn't show up as available in there. Sometimes Windows 10 makes me question, but that's okay. Gold dust. Let's call it Ironbark Brew. Knowledge. What could I do? Like experience. Knowledge. I've already used cider. Liquid knowledge. There we go. If I could spell knowledge right, that'd be great. Tried to spell it like that. The one, I don't know. I don't even remember that dude's name. It was the got more knowledge. The one who was showing off all the cars in his garage. God, that was obnoxious. Enchanting jelly. just that just sounds wrong. Also, I already have a jelly item in the game, but I don't know. Enchanted or enchanted salve. There we go. Salve, however the hell it's pronounced. Uh, Literally water, and then star essence. Okay. All right, and then we'll go ahead and go into the items, and we'll do those one at a time here. So, gonna shorten this a little bit. There we go. Okay. Add food, because potion is technically classed as a food for consumption purposes. Item.gold dust. Gold dust. Let's come up with a quick flavor text thing for it here. Put that in the present tense. The golden statue of a king. Obviously, I'm going to make a Midas illusion. Okay, I need to, there we go. So, hunger gain, none. No strength gain, no wisdom gain, none of this. Make it worth 500. gold dust, gold dust. There we go. Alright, so now we just go back and make sure there's a sprite for it. Like I said, this tile set is phenomenal. So, spells. Where did I put these under? Edible. There we go. S gold dust. Create and strip. Items. Potions. Alright. Let's see. I already used that for the ambrosia. 80, 64. Yeah, so we can just, let's see here. There we are. Slightly modified. Stretch it to 32 by 32. Bam. Okay, and then with gold dust, what we're going to have to do is go into, let's see, I have it in gameplay, yep. Check potions. Food equals argument 0. So this basically is just an extra check made to see when whenever you eat something, to check if something is potion so that it can do certain extra effects. So if food equals item.gold dust. So what's really cool about this lookup table is that item.gold dust is actually a number. So one of the unique things about GameMaker, I think it's similar to Python in this instance from what I understand. Just a second. One of the neat things is that, or one of the interesting things is that everything is basically either an integer or a boolean. So even the strings are integers. If you don't cast things properly, and I'm not going to give a programming course here, so sorry if this doesn't exactly make sense, but if you don't format things correctly and you try to say like, hey, say your name is, and then add the variable of the player's name, if you don't format it correctly, it will literally try to add the number value of the player's name. It's weird to the actual thing, and then it'll crash. So item.gold dust is whatever section on that enum the gold dust is, so probably like 70 or something. But it can refer to that, and then because of the way I created a background to or like some background methods to automatically instantiate items, it's just all set up correctly, and there's a bunch of references to it. I don't know exactly how to explain it very well without getting like too much into like too a programmery shit. Which is not necessarily my intention here. This is not a tutorial. This is just me carving out some time to work on this honestly, and maybe getting some live feedback and ideas. So anyway, back to it. If food equals item.gold dust, ds list insert. So here what I'm going to do is put in the message log at the top of the screen that you feel or your weapon glows with avarice. So that's going to be player.gold on hit equals true. Player.gold on hit timer equals 30. And we have to create a new buff. So this is kind of the flow to a degree. I could have done this differently. Like I could have created the sprite, then the buff, then the potion, but whatever. Buffs are actually generated here. Nope. Buff enum gold on hit, which I'll just call something else, but that's easier for the internals for me to understand what's going on. The name can be something entirely different and will be something entirely different. So the main thing for adding anything, add it in the enums, then use the correct function here to add it into the system, the lookup table, and then use it. Buff.gold on hit, golden touch, toka, golden touch. You are gaining gold on every hit you land. Alright, and then sprite S, gold on hit. So also the reason I'm saying like S and then underscore is to say that's the sprite version of something. So because if I name a sprite or the graphic of something like just gold on hit, and I try to make a gold on hit object, or I have the gold on hit reference here, it's going to be a whole bad time. So some people go take it the extra mile and make like have like O in front of stuff like so like a font will be F whatever, a object will be O whatever. I don't quite do that. It's up to you, but personally, yeah, usually my objects, and in this case items, are just the name, all lowercase, and then sprites are preceded with an S. So we need to create a buff icon here. So an icon that involves buffing. So this will be pretty easy. So I just need to, famous last words, S gold on hits. So let's see, these guys are 64 by 64 if I remember correctly. Yep. The only reason this becomes kind of annoying is that you can't click out of the editor past a certain point. So, how do I want to do this? I want to create from strip, money. I wish I could zoom in on this, but I can't. So that's actually why the cursor's moving right now, is because I'm leaning the touchpad into my body. Yeah, that'll do. That actually worked out a lot better than I expected. Okay, and then we'll resize this to 300, no, 400%. Not 4,001%, 300, 400%. Oh shoot, that was whoops, that was resize canvas, not actually stretch the image. There we go. Okay, and then we'll add a new one of these bad boys. And then, how many thick is the border for these? Too thick, alright. So let's see, first one's this. I'm actually going to go back again. There we go. Oh, there we go. Alright, and then I think size 2 is what we're going to be looking for. Oh, there we go. Oh, come on. There we go. I think there's only one thick, though. Yeah, this side is. Alright. This, too thick. Alright, cool. Take this bad boy, cut it out. There we go. Actually fits within the square, which is really nice. A lot of these are, they take up most of the space, so their borders kind of take it up. Just try to center this a little bit. That's good enough. Yeah, there we go. That'll get the point across. Cool. Okay, there's gold on hit. Gain buff. Buff.gold on hit. 30. Okay. This isn't finished yet, but I'm just going to double check that it works thus far. So, generally a good idea to, alright, Rom's going to be our guinea pig tonight. Spawn, item, gold, dust. Okay, that works. This weapon glows with avarice. Alright, cool. And that won't be going down right now because we're in town. That could also be super exploitable. I have to keep this in mind. Because you could just grind gold on these guys, which I'm going to make an exception and say if you're in town, it won't work. Alright. And actually, I think I have to, there might be a couple changes to that I want to make. So here's the main movement, or step code. This is basically what makes the player tick right now. What I'm looking for specifically is, for instance, infernal armor. Or I think it's inf armor. Let's see, yeah. So all of these, if room not equal to town. I think this is what I should do. So basically I want all rest of time. There we go. Whoops, didn't add a bracket up here. There we go. Let's see. So if room not equal to town, and then all of this stuff. So that way you shouldn't be wasting your buffs in town, and then also your buffs and your the timer that the player has plus the buff timer, which are separate entities technically speaking, will not get mismatched. Let's see. Okay, that's that. So let's get back down to there. Okay. If gold on hit timer is greater than 0, gold on hit timer minus minus, which means it'll go down by 1. Okay, I need a gold on hit timer. Where's all my timers here? Gold on hit timer equals 0. Actually, I didn't need that extra boolean. Where was that? Is in check potions. Oh, not num separator. That's something different. There we go. I don't need the gold on hit is true. I just need the timer to be greater than whatever. So we'll give him 30 turns of that, and then our last little check is going to be in attack in this case. So this is something that procs whenever the player attacks, and this is why I need to change the attacking code, because there's a couple different places I can put this, and it's kind of annoying, but if attacker equals player, okay. Alright, here we go. So if player dot gold on hit timer greater than 0, and room not equal to town. Okay. Again, that's just so that you can't just like grind infinite money on the scarecrows there by doing damage to them infinitely while not losing your buff. So let's see here. Alright, let's have this be... Whew, that's the hot part of my laptop, youch. What should this be? 20%? So let's see, the player's doing like 16 damage to begin with, so that'll give him like... So I know for a fact, generally speaking, kind of generally speaking, by the time they get to the middle of the game where gold dust might start actually like dropping, the player will be doing like 130 damage, let's say, generally speaking. So 20% of that is like 6. Let's do 50% for now. Fuck it. Oh dear. Shit, where was I? Oh no. There we are. Okay. Alright. Goal gained equals damage around damage times 0.05. Insert player dot messages 0. Your hit, your attack awards you, or your attack gains you plus strings. This is where I said, so if I just said plus gold gained, that would take it as, it would try to add this string right here as a number to this actual number. So even if you use it with other strings, even if I was like gold gained equals thick, it would still try to add them together and not work. So you have to cast that kind of stuff as string. Zun player dot money plus equals gold gained, and then there's a variable. I just don't remember exactly what it's called. Total money, I think it's called, because there's a variable to keep track of how much money you've gotten. Yep, total money. Player dot total money plus equals gold gained. Okay, and with that, gold dust should be fully implemented. Let's check it out. Oh, actually, before I do that, one last little thing. Change log. Yep, all this stuff. Boom. There we go. I won't add stuff to that until later, but that way the changelog at the front isn't full of incorrect information now. Alright, well, let's hang out with Rom here. Get used to Rom. He's probably going to be our guy for a little while. Unless I crash the game, in which case he might still be our guy. It depends. Now that we've created a save file with him, he should be our dude. So, we go here. Not getting gold from that. And because I'm too lazy to take the stairs, let's ascend. Your attack gains you 6 Zun. Okay. Gives you 8 Zun. Okay. Now here's the ultimate test. So I go to town, right? So it said I had 6 turns left. So if I go here, spawn, enemy, slime. Your attack gains you 8 Zun. Alright, so that works now. Alright, Goldust is implemented. I'm just gonna... Oh, geez. Oh, Rom, can you make it? Are you my boy? You're my boy. Good job, Rom. Alright, that's enough of that. Alright, so that's Gold Dust done. Next up, Ironbark. Resistances. That's not too bad. We'll want that attack script open again later, but it's not really much of a worry right now. Okay, so start from the beginning. Buff. And we will start with the buff because this is the kind of thing where the buff could be universal, but you know, maybe the items that like maybe there's one buff for many items, but many items can use that one buff if that makes sense. Buffing them. Double resist. Let's see. After that, we'll have to make an icon. S double resist. The Bool. Hey, my name's The Bool. Nice to meet you. Alright. We'll probably just use like an armor piece if I had to guess for this. Oh, that I saw chest. I was like, oh yeah, I need a chest piece. It's like, oh yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's so tiny. Ugh. Yeah, let's make it look like this baller like diamond armor right here. I believe 96 is the yeah, because 80 is 16 times 5, so 16 times 6 is 96. You'd be amazed how like used to multiples of 16 and 32 you get to be working with these kind of games. Oh, I need 400 actually. Like I can almost like recite off at this point. Like I can usually tell if something will catch my eye if it's a multiple of 8, 16, or well basically a multiple of 8, but especially of 16 or 32. So, which happens with computer programming in general. Okay, should still have these presets. We'll go ahead and do that. Make sure I don't have to, there we go. Perfect. Go ahead and cut this bad boy out. there's that. So we have the buff added in. So that just means we need to initialize the buff. Add buff dot double resistance. Nah, let's call it fortified. Let's call it that. You are your defenses are magically enhanced. Your resistances are doubled in combat. S double resist. Okay. A wind. I just caught that fart joke. I don't even remember a wind yet to be broken for the stealth. I don't even remember putting that in, but I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. Go past me. Alright, that just means we need a ironbark. I'm gonna try ironbark brew. Ironbark. Man, maybe I shouldn't stream typing that at overkill for Halloween. My typing sucks. I'm still getting used to this keyboard too. It's a lot different. It also doesn't have a numpad, which is kind of sad. It sounds stupid, but I kind of really like having a numpad. So, all right. So we need some ironbark brew. It's gonna be a potion. It looks really resisty and ironbarky. Yeah, let's get right here. That'll do. 64, 64. 400. No, shit, 200. Good. Right. Is this clear, technically speaking? Nope. Cool. Boop. So we got that. Now we just got to go into the item enum. Oh, we already made that. I just need to init the item. Let's see. Add food. Ironbark brew. Ironbark brew. Oh shit. Forgot the quotation marks. Let's see. Let's see. Flavor text time. That. Oh, just reminds us. This is open notification. I'll have to remember to stop by those streams. I think I've been doing defense with an S instead of a C throughout this, so I'll try to keep that somewhat consistent. Alright, so yeah, we'll have to give it like 8 hunger, no strength, no wisdom, no dex, no perception, 10 health. Worth is going to be 450. S iron bark brew. Iron bark brew. Okay. And then we need to go to check potions. If food equals iron bark brew. Item dot. Always important to remember that. Pretty sure I call it double resist over here, but I'll double check. Double resist, yep. Okay. Check that works so far. If it does, we'll put in the damage calculations if the player has that timer above 0. Oh shit, wait, hold the fort. Hold the fort. We didn't add the timer to the variables here. Excuse me. Inf. Oh shoot. There we go. Okay. If double resist timer rhymer is greater than 0, double resist timer minus. Okay. We'll make sure that works. All right, Rom, welcome back. You're looking a little hard there. Let's give you a quick full heal. How's that sound? Okay, spawn item iron bark brew. Looks good. All right, gives us all those nice effects. Let's stack that with a couple things, just to be shit posters for a second. Spawn item ambrosia syrup. Spawn item gold dust. There we go. Look at all those dank effects over there. Nice. Cool. Alright, make sure they actually, everything counts down correctly in the tower here. I should be invincible right now. I'm not. Alright, I'm gonna have to fix that. Alright, well we can fix 2 birds with 1 stone. Or not even fix, but we can hit 2 birds with 1 stone here, so attack. Okay, damage equals 0. Player.invincible timing. Damage equals 0, okay. Okay. See, herein lies the problem. Okay, take that. There we go. Ceiling damage, there we go. Okay, so we need to go up to where the player is the defender, up here. Damage minus equal defense. Alright. If, how do I do this? I think I have an idea. If defender equals player and player dot double resist timer is greater than 0. I kind of want to play music right now, I just realized. But I don't know anything that I could play that wouldn't get me, like, completely fucking sued or copyright struck into the ground. You know what? I'm going to check that real quick. I'm going to turn my display off here. Enjoy the infinite recursion for a second. Okay. You know what? I'm going to check that real quick. Rules for playing music. Because I know, like... Okay, well, looks like that's going to get torpedoed. That's okay, though. Let's see here. Defender equals player and player dot double resist timer equals 0 or greater than 0. I mean, I'm probably being overly cautious because, you know, I'm a 2-bit fucking streamer who has 9 followers to his name. It's not like I'm making any money on this or anything, but better safe than sorry, as sad as that is. So if defender equals player and player dot double resist timer is greater than 0, damage equals, well, let's just copy paste this, why not? Okay, something fucked up, I didn't, oh dear. There we go, okay. 1 divided by cut resist. See, correct the wording way to do this would be like cut resist divided by cut resist times 2. But wouldn't that not also end out where it would just be it would be the same thing if I just divided the damage there by 2? Let's do a quick test of that. I'll do it on screen so at least have something going on. There we go. So let's say it's, alright, so let's say it's 1 divided by, let's say cut resist is 1. Or wait, oh, I already fucked this up. There we go. So let's say the cut damage is 5 times 1 divided by, let's say 1. Wait, this isn't going out. Fuck it. Better safe than sorry. I'm just going to do the timers 2. So, math has never, ever been my strong suit, so I don't know if this would, if this is one of the transitive properties or whatever, it would work out okay, but better safe than sorry, I figure. At least this way, it's literally doubling all of your resistances in the act instead of having anything, or taking anything in half. The cut, blunt, pierce, and magic. Okay. Alright, so we will check that out. So we will play as the useless in this case because they have, or well, we can play as anyone really and just take off their armor. Sorry, Brenda, you're gonna have to be naked for this. Once again, my own lack of typing ability screws me over. Okay, so we have no armor on. We'll do a full heal. Just see. I'll send here. And we're going to genocide everything quick just so I can test on one enemy. There we go. Okay. So, right here, Lork, spawn, enemy. Let's do a Wit Knight because they do a lot of damage. And it's hard to boot. So that does 17. Okay. I drink the Ironbark Brew. This should do 8 to 9 damage instead. Yep, 9 damage because of the ceiling. Cool. Okay, now if I drink the Ambrosia Syrup. There we go. Now he should be doing 0 damage. Alright, cool. Joke's on you, jackass. Alright, cool. So that is Ironbark Brew done. And Rom continues to live, mostly because I use my godlike powers to keep him alive for now. What a poor punching bag. Okay. This one's gonna be easy. Like, just to get it, like, implemented right away. It's not gonna require any other... All it's gonna require is this check food and then the other steps. So no more dicking around in the attack thing for 1. Let's see. So, where you need to go into Buffinum. Oh, this isn't even a buff. This is just... Oh, yeah, they don't even add a buff. Excellent. Alright, Iteminum. Where is that? There is that. I already put it in the Iteminum. What I call it, though? Enchanted... Liquid Knowledge. Make sure it's spelled correctly, because it's not spelled correctly in the enum. And you are SOL. First of all, we're going to add a sprite for it, actually. You can see why development with me is so great, right? I just get so scatterbrained so easily, but oh well. Liquid Knowledge. I now want to click on that, edit. Alright, let's see. I need your finest potions. Is that getting old yet? I know it's the height of comedy gold these days. Oh my god. Let's see. 32 and 18. So close. Wait, no. 16 is what I want. There we go. Stretch that bad boy out 200%. Honk. Alright. Init items. Add food. Item.liquid knowledge. Kunk. That's not how you spell pureed anyway. Not the best wording, but I'll tidy that up later. The more important part for me is getting implemented right now. Let's do 5 hunger gain. No. Hunger can heal like 15, or health can heal like 15. Worth is going to be 700. Sprite, S, liquid knowledge. Liquid knowledge. Liquid! There we go. Okay. Then we just need to go check potion. If food equals liquid knowledge. it is actually just XP, not EXP. I do try to keep HUD elements somewhat. Yeah, it's HP, XP, and EN for energy. I'll just go ahead and edit that description real quick. There we go. XP gained equals round player dot max XP times 0.25. Player dot XP plus equals XP gained. All right. Test that out. That should work out. Let's see. Spawn item liquid knowledge. Liquid knowledge. My pack is full. Well, that's boring. Okay. I'm gonna level up once just to reset to 0. Okay, so we'll go ahead and drink this. 86 has 25% up 343. That sounds about right. $85.75. Yep, cool. All right. It works. Excellent. So get 4 of those and you got to level up. That's something. And I might add like levels of it later, but I feel like there's a point where I guess I could that's easy to just copy paste later and be like liquid knowledge and then, +1 or +2 or figure out other names for it and do 50 and 75% and then maybe have a potion that just instantly levels you up. But not really what I'm looking at right now. Enchanted, all attacks deal magic damage. Okay. I'm actually going to be right back. It's getting a little warm here. I'm going to turn my AC on real quick. And we're back. All right. Let's see here. So what's next? Enchanted. How do I want to do this? I mean, I obviously know the steps how to do it. It's just the question of how I want to do the damage calculation. Because I don't want to do it by absolute points, because otherwise it's going to be useless beyond a certain level. But percentages could go kind of crazy. I think I'll do like 20. We can start with maybe 25% of the main damage. So let's say you have something that does. Let's say you have something that does 20 cut, 5 blunt, and 1 pierce. It'll also add the main damage is cut, so it'll add 25% of that, so it'll add 5 points of magic damage. Yeah, sure. All right, cool. Let's see. So let's start off with an icon. Enchant wep. Okay. So we just need some random weapon here. Let's see, that's going to be a 0 and 16. Stretch that bad boy out. Oh, I said stretch that bad boy out. Then we'll just give a little bit of a purple outline. Give me that purple stuff. Alright, this isn't... Oh dear. Oh, okay. Redo that. Okay, Jesus, there we go, okay. Yeah, that's what I want, so... There we go. And then just shift this all down one. Yeah, it'll do. Okay, and then... Oh, we don't need to see. We need to stretch out here. Right. New... There we go. Oh, god damn it, every time. Alright, that should work. As usual, cut this bad boy. Paste it right in here. Okay. So we have our icon. We need the buff. Let's call it Enchanted Web. So we got the buff in there, so we need to init the buff. Your weapon has been enchanted and will deal a portion its main damage as a magic damage. S enchanted web. Let's call this additional magic damage. 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 Oh my god. Like I said, still learning this keyboard a little bit. Alright. Alright. Enchanted. Your weapon has been enchanted and will deal a portion of its main damage as additional magic damage. Good deal. Okay, now we need to add the actual item. So we need enchanted salve. Enchanted slot. Oh god. No, not that. Anything but that, please. Create from strip. Back to the potions. What's looking super enchanted-y? Enchantery, enchantedness. Yeah, that'll do. That's gonna be a 32. Alright, stretch that bad boy out. Like Flubber. I don't know where that came from. Because Flubber has not been relevant for a long fucking time. But I remember seeing a bunch of, what he calls them. Go ahead and minimize this here. A bunch of ads for Flubber. I can't remember what it was on though. If it was like one of the old VHSs I used to watch or something, or what it was. But I remember seeing Flubber like a lot. I not even seeing the movie. I don't. The irony is I never even watched the movie. At least not all the way through. So I saw bits and pieces of it, but I'm pretty sure that was at least the version I'm thinking of was Robin Williams. So it was that time when CGI was people were like, hey, we can CGI these awful looking like sidekicks into these movies, so why don't we? Oh. I'm not much of a film buff, but I'm a fan of a few people who are film buffs, and it's interesting to watch them note and kind of note myself how there's kind of this swinging between like how CGI used to be the big thing, like everything had to be CGI. And sure, sometimes it worked out, like Terminator 2. Those effects are still a lot of the effects from Terminator 2 still hold up a lot. Like the part where the T whatever, the bad guy Terminator like goes through like grating and it's like liquid metal and stuff, and a lot of his liquid metal stuff looks really good. Um, but then or like Jurassic Park, but then there's a lot of instances where it just they didn't have the time, money, experience, or some combination of the three, and just looked awful. And now it's kind of a swing back towards a lot of people have been like, oh, we're doing practical effects. So I know Mad Max Fury Road was made with like there's barely any CGI in that film. Almost everything was a practical effect or stunt, and it was all the better for it. Anyway, all right. Where was I? Oh yeah, enchanted salve. I need to add that as an item. Where the fuck? Oh, here we go. I kind of lost track of what I was doing there. So I tend to get into a bit, and that's why this is kind of experimental. I might not do this too often, so there may be gaps in like development for this. I'm not going to stream every little bit of development I do for it. Um, but I kind of go into a trance-like zone when I'm doing this usually. So trying to add commentary over top is turning out to be a little hard. So this might be like a once in a while thing. We'll see. This is an experiment for sure. So now that I have a gaming laptop, I have other things I can do on PC. So this was just kind of a stopgap to kind of change things up. But we'll see if people like it or, I'm also just kind of tired today, so that's not helping. But anyway, item dot enchanted salve. There's going to be a problem where it mentions like players consuming this, but I don't care. If I get enough items that are like applied items as opposed to like edible items, I will try to like I'll create like a tag that's like, hey, this thing is not consumable, but it's really not my top concern right now. That's like flavor text and nitpicking. Let's see. $350 enchanted salve. Enchanted salve. There we go. Okay. Then we need to check potions. If if food equals item dot enchanted salve. DS list insert. Player dot enchanted wep timer equals 30. Gain buff. Yeah, let's get this one 45. Let's see. Okay, gain that buff. Then the player needs an enchanted timer, or enchanted weapon timer. There we go. Alright, test to make sure that works, and then it's one more dive into the attack. This should be the last time we have to modify the attack method tonight, because I believe I already, again, water's just going to be... Oh god. For some reason that sounded like, because it was so quiet, I guess, it sounded like it was coming from my laptop. I was like, oh crap, has my headset not been connected this entire fucking time? Anyway, okay, that works out. 45. But yeah, like I said, there's already an invincibility timer, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to double check here. Yep, player already has an invincibility timer, so Star Instance is just going to play off that. And like I said, water is just kind of padding slash kind of shitty slash maybe we'll have a different use later or something. Okay, and we go into attack. Okay, if attacker equals player. Alright, so after all the damage calculations here, if player dot enchanted wep timer is greater than 0, damage plus equals round main damage. How do I do this? I have an idea. Okay, so if attacker equals player and player dot enchanted wep timer is greater than 0, magic plus equal. I'm gonna do main damage ahead of time here, but that's okay. Okay, magic plus equals round main damage times 0.25, I think we said, right? Yeah. Let's try that out. Alright, so let's try to find an item. I think spawn item. I think the Regent Blade has 20 cut straight up, which I can use. Okay, and I'm going to turn verbose attacks on and see if that works as well as I think it will. I go up here, genocide, full heal, spawn enemy, wit knight, spawn item, enchanted salve. Okay, so that does 51 damage, 20 cut, 0 magic. If I drink this, 10 cut, oh wait, 20 cut. It still counts as 0 magic, but that's because of the way I'm reporting it. Nah, that didn't work. Yeah, that's not doing what I needed to do. Main damage equals that. Magic plus equals that. That's not quite what I'm looking for, though, now, is it? So I think... here... So we'll have 2... Alright, this is an else. So that's the normal one. Magic plus round. Okay, so main damage still has to be equals max, cut, blunt, pierce, magic. Magic plus round, main damage times 0.25, 0.25. Okay. I think that's more what I'm looking for here. We'll see, though. Make sure I didn't just break the attack or any of the attack algorithm or anything like that. And just for testing purposes, I'm going to drop a couple of these. I only pick up one. Don't care about the rest of these. Sometimes, like, oh, I don't want to drop these items. Like, oh, right, this is just like a test character. I don't give a shit. I can literally bring any item back into existence should I need to. And since there's nothing procedurally generated, it's not like it's going to be a better or worse version of it. Anyway, okay, so enchanted salve. Wait, no, shit. I want to do that different. There we go. Ascend, genocide. Oh. Okay. Spawn. Enemy. Wait night. So I'm doing 44 to 43. Still doing that, huh? Okay. 0 magic, yeah. So... You know what? I don't know why I've been this stupid. I'm going to try it on Scarecrows because they have neutral resistances, so maybe his resistance is basically... I don't remember off the top of my head what the White Knight's resistance to magic is, but I'm pretty sure it's fairly high. Okay, so normally we're doing 46 to 48 damage. If we drink one of these bad boys... It's doing, I don't know, a little more damage, but I believe that's still within the variance. Oh, that's also a problem. I need to watch my buff, the length of my buff descriptions. First up, and it buffs. That's an easy. Dealing additional magic damage. And your resistances. There we go. Ebery. Good catch. Double. Debooled. Again. God damn it. Dealing additional magic damage. Alright. You are dealing additional magic damage. Alright, and then that's not worth logging in or starting the game up to check just right now. Okay. So get rid of all this. Bring it back just to the main damage okay, there we can just delete this. So if attacker equals player. Okay, we don't need this here. This is an old debugging thing. So if main damage equals magic, so this is where main damage is used, and then it scales from there. See, the whole reason that I don't just want to add the points is that a lot of enemies don't have very good or they have negligible magic resistance, especially if they're melee enemies. So that's why the enchanted weapon isn't just a damage boost on its own, but it's also a damage boost overall, even more because that lowered resistance. So, and we tried it where we just added the magic. You know what? Let's try this real quick. I will need a debug message, unfortunately. So if attacker equals player and player dot enchanted wep timer is greater than 0. Let's see. Main damage equals max cut blunt pierce magic plus equals round main damage times 0.25. Oh, right. Whoops. Have to tell it which list to enter this into. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What is this? What is this gonna be for us? So, on a normal attack, this shouldn't show up in the messages. Oh, I don't want that in cut messages. I actually want that in the console. Whoops. There we go. It's not showing up. Oh, so therein lies the problem. If attacker equals player and player.enchanted timer is greater than 0. So that's the problem. This isn't even being... It's passing over this for some reason. Very oddly indeed. If attacker equals player and player.enchant weapon timer is greater than 0. Oh, wait, I might be a dummy. Check potions, please. Enchanted web timer. Oh, wait, what? Player.enchanted web timer. Okay. So is something not being set where it should be? Oh, let's see, I think it's in the player's draw event here. There we go. Player dot enchanted web timer. It's kind of a gross and icky way to do this, but it's the most direct way to do it. Interesting. Oh, wait. Nope, that's not doing it. Oh, so far at least plus equals up here. Oh, that's why it's incanted. God damn it. Enchanted. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and then there's a couple I forgot up here. I have to do an if statement here, so okay. If goal hit timer. So I can get rid of these plus equals then. Too bad it was so painstaking to add them. If player dot gold on hit timer is greater than 0. Else, there we go. Oh. Buff.gold on hit. Alright, 30 minus player.gold on hit timer. Okay. So this is just a way to be like, if you saw there when I took 2 enchanted brews, it brought my, it said my buff had 86 turns or something like that, because it was I'd spent a few turns. I'm surprised the game didn't throw an error at me saying that incanted timer's not set. Anyway, sorry. So basically, it was gaining a bunch of time on it that shouldn't have been there, even though it was setting the player's internal enchanted weapon time to 45 still. So this is just to catch that and be like, hey, if they already have this buff, just don't overbuff them, basically. Just bring them back to what they were at. So let's see. Okay, just do the same thing down here. Let's copy paste this. If you're looking into ever coding, don't do what I'm doing. Don't copy paste code. It will more often than not screw things up. If it's copying and pasting within your own code, that's bad enough. Never, if you can't help it, copy paste from online. Because that's A, not cool. B, it might not work with your system. And C, it's copy pasting in general is not. If you find yourself copying pasting a code around a lot, and it's like straight up copy paste as opposed to minor edits like this, something might be wrong. Also, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm not a real programmer. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so double resist, double resist, double resist, double resist timer. Okay, so enchanted web timer. Okay. Now this should work. Oh, whoop. Where's that? Oh, gain buff. Whoopsies. There we go. Alright, there we go. Oh, whoops, except I fucked it up because I'm setting them to, see, that's a classic programming mistake. I'm setting these I set these timers up to 30 before doing the check to see if they were above 0. That is a classic little bit of failing to see where things are being assigned, which may seem minor, but can really mess you up in the long run, so. And honestly, I probably could have put together a better buff system. Again, just with the way GameMaker works, I didn't see that being readily available. But, okay, so that works now, so if we go, oh, I didn't need to exit the entire game, but let's see here. So if I go here, spawn a bunch of enchanted salves. Okay. So I'm doing like 47 to 48 to 50 damage-ish, or 46 to 49. Now I'm doing 53. Okay. Cool. So if I test this on something... Doing similar, if I test this on something that does match, like the imp, for instance. Let's do a greater imp, actually. Still doing that amount of damage. Verbose attacks. Okay, greater imp. They really just have those attack resistances? That doesn't seem right. Did I fuck up resistances somehow? I hope not. .9. Okay, cool. 1.10 magic resist isn't that much. So, oh! Well, shit. Goodbye, ROM. Fun fact, you cannot like Alt F4 out or anything, even though the game saves and quits certain ways. The minute you die, your file is wiped. So, no going back after that. Who do we got this time, Marv? Oh, son of a bitch. I thought I fixed this. Okay. Line 103 and check and draw GUI. Oh boy. Should have read that closer, but oh, god damn it. Player. Okay. How do I do this here? Because that's a true or false. Well, this is still like a true. This is gonna be kind of gross, but whatever. Staff. False. Okay, weapon equals item dot none. Item dot none should be a weapon, and it should have weapon type dot melee. Oh, this is dumb. This is another overhaul I'm gonna probably have to do off screen at some point, and that doesn't work how I want to. Fuck it. What was that? Line 103. There's just something where how I'm initializing the run isn't working correctly, so. And for some reason, it's only when I'm like randoming and like once in a while. So, let's do it this way, because it's the only character that starts the gun. What? Oh, oops. Whatever. Hopefully that'll give it enough time. I'll have to fix that later. Okay, so we don't need this drawn anymore, so that works. Or that should work. I'm gonna test it on. Let's find an enemy that does not, that has like a fuck ton of 3 has a lot. Who has a lot of magic resist? I think the phantasms do, don't they? Yeah, magic resist of 2. Not whatever. Yeah, it works. Yeah, it's a 5 damage, and then from there it should still be calculated out depending on the resists. Okay, cool. That is that guy then. And then just going to double check with these new potions that their effects aren't stacking, because that is not what we want. Okay, spawn item, gold dust, spawn item, iron bark brew. Oh, spawn item, something that lets me allows me to type actually correctly for once. Okay, so we're at 45. Still at 45. 30. Still. Oh, nope, that one's not correct. 30. 30, okay. Iron bark is not correct. Check potions. if player.double resist timer is greater than 0. Oh, whoops. Didn't do an else there. That would do it. Oh, sorry about that. All at 30. Alright. So now, as a kind of, well, as a coup de grace, because the water is going to take like 2 seconds to add. And then the star essence is just invincibility, which is already, it's not going to take long to add because I've already put that in. Also, it kind of supplants all of these guys. We are going to load up on these dank potions and brews and see what it's like if I have one of each on. So, spawn item, gold dust, spawn item, enchanted salve. Spawn item, ironbark, brew. Let's ascend. Crank those bad boys up. Look at all those status effects. Oh boy. Yeah, I might increase. Again, this kind of goes into balancing later, but I might increase how long some of these last. Because they're not particularly game breakers per se. Maybe I think the gold dust should stay at 30 turns. But otherwise, the other ones, it's kind of like, yeah. Are you not entertained? How many enemies are left? Is that all of them? That was all of them, huh? Interesting. Okay. And that was all the items, too. This is a short floor. Anyway. Alright, let's add some water. I know you're all really excited for that. Nothing more exciting than water. Speaking of which. Much better. Okay. Or as Albert would say, water, water. However the fuck he... Don't worry about it. Oh, whoops. Don't need to worry about that. Okay, wobber. I think I have wobber in there, so I need something that looks like wobber. Call it a water jug because I might actually eventually implement water tiles. We'll see. There we go. Potion. Yeah, it looks like wobber. 16. Ow. Alright, an item. And I actually don't have to go and check potions for this, because right now it's not going to do jack diddly squat as a potion, so it's just food. Two, zero, zero, zero. Whoop, 0, 0, 0, 2, 10. Well, let's make it like, yeah, 20. S. Water jug. Water. Okay, all that's left is the star essence, which is going to be, yeah, we can just turn all these green. Boom! Go ahead and save that bad boy. So go ahead and save. Okay, should save super quick. No, I'm still not entirely used to. So for perspective, my old laptop that I'm using basically as a glorified second monitor right now is a hard drive. It's a hard disk drive. It's literally just a hard drive computer now. It has a hard disk drive in it, so, and it was a terabyte. So to go from a terabyte hard disk drive to a terabyte SSD is nice. All right, S star essence. Okay, 064 is what I'm looking for here. Okay. So like I said, the buff is already in place. So I just need to add this as an item. So we need to go init item. After I add this bad boy in, probably going to be it for development tonight. I'm going to have to end this stream briefly for just a couple minutes. So basically, because I'm on a gaming laptop that has both an integrated graphics card for just in case like the GPU fails, at least the screen can still render things. And then I also have a dedicated GPU, my 2060. Because of that, OBS, I need to tweak a setting in OBS. If I want to capture my whole screen like I am right now, I need OBS to run off of my integrated graphics card, the Intel UHD, probably 620 on this guy. If I want to capture games well, I need to run off of my NVIDIA card. So I need to go in and change that. And I don't think I can just change it on the fly and have it apply. So the stream will end for like a minute. Don't be alarmed. Just going to be changing that setting over real quick. Maybe get some more water. And then I think tonight we'll be doing more Killing Floor 2 because I kind of forgot how fun it is. And if I wanted, well, because it's either Killing Floor 2 or Risk of Rain 2. I think with Killing Floor 2, I'm feeling a bit more instant gratification-y right now. And it's because I've played, again, like I said, 80 hours of Risk of Rain 2 in about, like, I think, well, I guess we can check right now. Killing Floor 2. Oh, yeah, I started playing Borderlands Game of the Year. It's, certainly as a step back, it makes you appreciate Borderlands 2 all the more. Only played 40 hours of Killing Floor, so. And I mean, I love Risk of Rain to death, but I just don't think I have the attention span for like a drawn out run at this point, if that makes sense. So, um, and like thinking like, oh, what items do I want? So, plus I want to give that weekly another chance. So I don't want to lose any rounds tonight, ideally. Although I probably will if I try the weekly again. And I'm so fucking going commando. Gunslinger is nowhere near ready for solo suicidal stuff right now. So anyway, so that's what's going to be coming up next. Back to it for now. Add item, add food item dot star essence. All right. Concentrate. Okay, let's see here. So we have that added in, so I must only add in the check potion. This is so nice compared to I had another. I've done quite a few things in Game Maker just as concept games or games I just kind of gotten tired of and given up on. And part of the problem was that a lot of them I like to do like the like the mutating items like Risk of Rain does, or like items in general where it's like, oh, increase your health by this much, or do the way I had items like made was just such a pain in the dick to deal with. Because the way I did it was an array of items, but instead of doing the smart thing, where like I had a bunch of items created ahead of time, um, it's like this array was like, so it was like item name 0, and then it was like item description 0, and then it was the worst. So using this, it's just so that was like my biggest letdown back in the day. It was such a pain in the dick to add items, and now it's so easy. It's so nice. So it takes a little more up front, but once that's done, it just makes it so much easier down the line. Anyway, if food equals item dot star essence, then we can basically just go right up here. Okay. And this is going to give 45 turns of invincibility. 30. 30 is enough. 30 turns is like you're trying to get power through a boss fight or something. 45 turns is like, 60 turns is just too long. That could be like half of a floor if you're not backtracking or doubling around too much. Then our last little thing tonight will be to add these to a couple of different item pools so they can actually drop in the game randomly. So let's see here. Yeah, it looks pretty baller. My pack is full. Well, that's bullshit. Okay. You feel invincible. There's my effects. Ha! You can't. Oh, whoops. Oh, death by boredom. Classic roguelike staple. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, so almost kind of made like a sick backbeat when it was with the way like all the sound effects were going and all that. Anyway, alright, so we're going to go to the item pools, the guts of the random drops in this game. Look at all that. So these guys are all potions. Global.potion pool 8 equals item.wobber. Global. Oh, this is the reason I put this up here, right? 9 is equal to dot star essence 10 item dot ironbark brew 11 item dot, what else did we do? Ironbark, star essence, liquid knowledge, item dot, what else did we do? Oh, enchanted salve. Okay, that should be all of them. So let's go to the late pool here. Global.late pool 16 equals. Let's do the star essence and the global.late pool 17 equals and liquid knowledge up here. Now this is called late pool. Technically speaking, it could maybe like so. The way it works is basically there's like whenever an item is created, there's a roll of the dice, or it's a 1 in 100 chance, or there's a variable 0 to 100. So there's like an 80% chance that it will be part of a pool depending on where you are. So depending on what floor you are, like early on, you will not see anything from the late pool drop, period. If it drops from the late pool, it means it drops from one of its, like if it's a late game piece of armor, it drops from the armor pool. Otherwise, it can drop from one of the other pools. So, like, it could drop from the armor pool. So, in that case, it could be anyone's game. It could drop from the potion pool, etc. So, it's possible to see these late game and mid game items earlier, but less likely. Ideally, I'm gonna have to tweak that as time goes on. Universal pool. Equals item.wobber and star essence. Oh wait, did I put that down here? I did. What was it? Oh, Iron Bark Brew, that was it. And those are all that I had today, right? Let's see, we can go to the item very end. Oh shit. No, there we go. Iron Bark Brew. Oh, Gold Dust. Let's put that in potions real quick. How could I forget about the Gold Dust? Because that's like the first thing I worked on today. And that can be a mid-game item. There we go. Alright. So those are all added in, so now they will randomly drop throughout the game. Thanks everyone for coming out so far. Like I said, stream's going to be down for a minute or two here just for me to change some settings and stretch my legs for a second. I'll be back with some Killing Floor 2. Thank y'all for coming out so far. Just a reminder to go ahead and hit the follow button if you want to help the channel grow and get notifications when the stream goes live. I'd very much appreciate it if you like what you're watching. I also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/blackcoatdollop. I'll be archiving all past streams there, so if you miss anything, you can go ahead and watch it there. And I have twitter.com/NickHilger, underscore Hilger, a capital N, capital H, so you can see there for stream announcements, schedule updates, and also the occasional fart in the wind. So thank you all for coming out so far. We'll probably have another hour and a half, 2 hours of Killing Floor 2 coming up, something like that. So maybe an hour, we'll see. Hour, want to go for like at least an hour, maybe hour and a half. So thank you all for coming out, and I will see you in a couple minutes.